So as always, a big show by Tata Motors at the Auto Expo, and to talk to us about all these new cars is the design boss himself, Martin Uhlarik. Martin, tell me, you've shown us a lot of products here at the show. Take us through how the journey has been over the past few months or past few years to arrive at where we are today.
Well, I mean, obviously, we've been working on many of these products, like you said, for years. And recently, Tata Motors has been enjoying very good sales. There's a real sense of optimism in the company. People are really responding really well to our products, our movement toward EV pioneer. And of course, these programs have been planned years in advance.
Absolutely.
And obviously the Auto Expo is a perfect platform to show everybody not just of what we offer today, but what we're going to be offering in the future.
Okay, so tell me, if you individually talk about these cars, how close are we to the production models? What differences can we see in any of these cars?
So on this stage, for instance, we have a Curvv ICE version.
Yes.
We have the Sierra EV, and then we have the Harrier.EV.
Yeah.
So the Harrier.EV will be coming out next year. So that is exactly what you're going to get for the production car in terms of the design.
All right, including the touch door handle?
Oh.
We'll see.
We're really trying to make
I
that
really like
happen.
that. It's a very cool thing.
So definitely, but we're obviously, we've introduced the Nexon EV now recently, the Tiago.
Yes.
So it's only natural that we're expanding that technology to a Harrier class car. So then we come to the Curvv. That has a start of production in 2024.
All right.
So I know it's hard to believe, but it's only a year away. And we showed.
And we're starting with the EV, or we're starting with ICE?
We're starting with the EV, and we showed last year in April. We showed the EV.
Yeah.
So the difference between that and this one, this is the ICE version.
Yes.
Is the ICE version has a dedicated front grille design, so it has a different bumper.
Right.
So obviously the ICE version needs more cooling, and also it creates that sort of more, I don't want to say aggressive, but a more classical face, with a traditional opening in the bottom, but also there's going to be openings in the top. And so that communicates a more sporty, but obviously the Curvv is a very sporty dynamic vehicle. So we decided we wanted to introduce another wheel design, which is more sporty. And then we also developed this color, which is not a traditional red. So we decided to do something, and we got a lot of inputs from our design team in India and globally, which is to make something which has a bit of an India character. So you can see it has a little bit of violet in it. So it's very unique. It's our interpretation for what a sporty red should be. And then you can see last time we had a camera, but now it has a conventional mirror.
Yes.
On the interior, for instance, we have an instrument binnacle, which we didn't have in April. And back then we had bucket seats in the rear.
Yes.
Now it has a traditional bench. So it's slowly migrating toward the production car. And overall, I mean, from a design point of view, this is the data. The outside body data is the production car data. The only thing we're missing here is the windscreen wipers.
The wipers, yeah.
And some of the sensors and so forth. But this is what you're going to have in your dealership and on the road in a year.
So tell me, it's widely said that designers love to work on EVs. It gives you more liberties on how you can design the car.
Sure.
Do you agree with that statement, or it's
not really? I mean, to be honest, I've been working as a car designer for 30 years, so I would say 99% of the work I've done is ICE. It's only recently that we've started to really, go into EVs. It's a different brief. But in the end, I think, for most customers, the powertrain is secondary as long as it meets their economic demands and whatever they require in terms of range and whatever. But, before, did you ask anybody whether it's a diesel or it's a traditional gasoline?
Yeah.
Nobody really made that differentiation. It's just an economic decision that, drives that. So the powertrain is key, but at the same time, it doesn't really influence design other than the fact that EVs, as they start out, have to be aerodynamically efficient. So, there's the tradition that the wheels are more of a disc. The cars are much more sensitive to aerodynamics because you want to extend the range.
Of course.
So that's something that has influenced design to create an EV. Obviously, with the Avinia, which we have over on the other side of the stand, that is a born EV, so it has none of the constraints that what we call Gen 2 cars have, which have to marry both powertrains.
Right. Let's talk a bit about the Sierra. It's a cult name, in India for a very long time. Now, of course, in a brand new shape and avatar. Now, what we saw at the Expo 3 years ago, what we're seeing now, what's changed? Again, how close we are to production.
So this is the production car.
Okay.
The design has already been frozen.
All right.
So what we're showing you, I don't call it a concept.
Okay.
I call it a show car. So a show car is a production show car.
Right.
And what our focus now is on the quality, fit and finish. That's what we're working on for the next year, 15 months from a design point of view. And after that, it's simply ramping up the manufacturing. What's the difference between the 2020 concept and this is that was the open question, should we bring the Sierra back? That was the intent of that model, because it was an open, is there room for this vehicle and this brand? Obviously at the time it was a 3-door, and then we had no B-pillar and we had a sliding door to emphasize a lounge sort of living room layout. So what we've done is in the 3 years since we introduced that, we've decided it has to be an EV. So actually the proportions changed, so it's a little bit different. It's a longer wheelbase than the concept we showed. And then what it also has is it has a traditional B-pillar and conventional doors.
Right.
And
but it hides behind the...
But it hides behind this iconic B-pillar, which is actually the signature for what makes the Sierra Sierra. It's this wrap over glass, but this is not glass, this is actually a plastic finisher, and the rear door has a drop glass that drops behind the B-pillar, behind the seal. And you can see that the design has evolved just like with our design department. Our designs are now very clean, very minimalistic, very rational. So there's actually only 2 lines on the car, which are the the wheel arches. Everything else is actually super clean and it's very graphical. So it actually then communicates a high PQ and a timeless design.
All right, so you told us when do we see the Harrier.EV and the Curvv on the roads?
Those are 2024, this is
and
2025.
This one is, all right, so this is the last in the list.
That's right, this and then Avinia.
Then Avinia, of course, that will come. So largely that is what we're going to expect from Tata Motors over the next 2-3 years.
Yes.
Anything in the more mass market range, like something like the Tiago EV, is already a very popular car, right?
Yes. We have a couple of other things that we're planning, but we'll let you know in due course. We like the surprises, like yesterday.
Absolutely.
We didn't tell anybody this was here, but then the door opened, and it's best to manage expectations.
Absolutely. So we wait for the time when you want to tell us that, and for the timing. Thank you so much for talking to us.
All right, it was a pleasure.
And wish you all the best for the time. Thank you so much, Martin.